Hello, dear friends and fellow literature enthusiasts. It's truly a joy to gather here again, in this shared space where stories become more than just narratives. They become doorways to worlds that challenge us, comfort us, and invite us to think deeply. Before we begin, if you find yourself drawn to thoughtful and intellectual explorations of cinema, please do like and subscribe. Your support means the world, and together, we'll continue unraveling the rich layers beneath the films we cherish. Now, a little note before we dive in: this isn't your typical movie review. What we'll explore is a deeply intellectual and theoretical analysis aimed primarily at those who appreciate literature and critical thought, focusing on education and insight rather than surface-level impressions. This story takes us deep into a sprawling, vivid world that many know well but few truly dissect with the kind of care it deserves. For me, this film has always held a special place, not merely for its visual spectacle or thrilling sequences, but because it embodies a profound exploration of adventure, the weight of destiny, and the complexities of heroism that resonate far beyond the screen. It taps into the universal human quest, the tension between courage and fear, the allure of treasure and the price it demands, and the delicate balance between camaraderie and individual destiny. When I first watched it, I was struck not just by its grandeur, but by the way it sparked memories of my own youthful wonder and the timeless narratives that have shaped our collective imagination. The story unfolds with the kind of immersive detail that invites us to wander its landscapes, not just physically, but emotionally and philosophically. It follows a band of unlikely heroes, their journey threaded with danger and moments of unexpected tenderness, as they navigate a realm fraught with peril and magic. The characters are richly drawn, each bearing scars and hopes that remind us how layered and complicated true heroism can be. There is a palpable sense of urgency, of worlds on the brink of change, and the choices that shape not just individual fates but the very fabric of their reality. What grips me is the film's ability to weave together threads of myth and personal struggle, crafting a tapestry where dragons are more than just beasts, but embodiments of greed, power, and ancient mystery. The narrative pulses with tension as alliances form and shatter, secrets unravel, and the looming shadow of a formidable adversary challenges the resolve of all involved. There are moments of breathtaking action, yes, but they are carefully balanced with quiet scenes of reflection, camaraderie, and loss. This blend makes the story feel alive, an epic not just of scale but of heart. As we navigate this tale, we encounter major twists that challenge assumptions and deepen the moral complexity. The dragon's lair, a cavernous symbol of both temptation and destruction, serves as a crucible for the characters' fears and desires. The interplay of light and shadow here is not merely visual but thematic, illustrating the thin line between courage and folly. This setting becomes a character in itself, oppressive yet mesmerizing, dangerous yet strangely beautiful. Beyond the central conflict, the film explores subtle themes of identity and transformation. Characters grapple with their roles in a narrative that seems both preordained and mutable. The tension between destiny and free will is woven throughout, inviting us to question how much control one truly has in the face of overwhelming forces. It's a meditation on growth, on the sacrifices demanded by quests that stretch far beyond the self. The relationships between characters also offer rich terrain for reflection. Friendship, loyalty, and trust are tested repeatedly, underscoring the film's exploration of community amid chaos. There is a warmth beneath the tension, a recognition that even in worlds dominated by darkness and danger, human connection remains a vital source of strength and meaning. In all, the film is a layered and complex work that rewards close attention. It invites us not merely to watch, but to engage, to consider how stories shape our understanding of bravery, loss, and the elusive nature of hope. For those of us who cherish literature and deep analysis, it offers fertile ground for exploring archetypes and narrative structures that have resonated across cultures and generations. So as we embark on this exploration together, I encourage you to keep an open mind and heart. Let's peel back the layers, savor the textures, and uncover the profound insights nestled within this sweeping tale. It's a journey that promises not only adventure but also moments of quiet revelation, reminding us why stories matter, why they endure, and how they connect us all. The journey begins in the quiet, familiar world of the Shire, where our unlikely hero, a small and unassuming hobbit, prepares to embark on an adventure that will stretch far beyond his peaceful roots. His life until now has been one of comfort, routine, and simplicity, a sharp contrast to the vast, wild world that awaits him. Yet beneath his unpretentious exterior lies a curious spirit, one drawn to stories of ancient lore and whispered legends, the very echoes of a time long past but never truly forgotten. As he sets out, accompanied by a company of dwarves led by a proud and determined warrior, the sense of camaraderie is immediate but fragile. Each member brings his own burdens and aspirations, their personalities clashing and blending in a dynamic that speaks to the complexity of forging unity amid diversity. This company is more than a mere band of travelers. They are a microcosm of a world teetering on the edge, with stakes that extend beyond treasure and personal glory to the fate of entire realms. Their initial journey is fraught with challenges that test not only their physical endurance but their trust in one another. The wilderness they traverse is a living entity, both majestic and menacing, filled with hidden dangers and ancient secrets. The forests whisper with the weight of old magic, and the mountains loom as silent sentinels guarding treasures and terrors alike. It is within these landscapes that the company's bonds begin to form and fray, shaped by moments of bravery, doubt, and the relentless push of destiny. Amid these trials, the small hobbit's role gradually unfolds from that of a passive follower to a subtle but indispensable force. His resourcefulness, courage, and unexpected bursts of wit reveal layers beneath his humble beginnings. He becomes a lens through which we witness the tension between innocence and experience, the ordinary and the extraordinary. His growth is neither rapid nor simplistic. It is marked by hesitation, mistakes, and quiet determination, a journey of self-discovery mirrored in the shifting world around him. Key to this progression is their encounter with formidable foes who embody the darkness encroaching on their quest. These antagonists are not mere obstacles but living symbols of the greed, corruption, and ancient malice that threaten to consume the land. Their pursuit is relentless, forcing the company into precarious alliances and desperate escapes. Each confrontation raises the stakes, revealing the cost of ambition and the fragile nature of trust. Within this crucible, moments of personal sacrifice and unexpected heroism emerge. The dwarves, proud and often brash, reveal vulnerabilities and loyalties that complicate their quest for treasure. Their leader's determination is tempered by moments of doubt and the weight of responsibility, creating a nuanced portrayal of leadership under pressure. The hobbit's interactions with these figures are tinged with both admiration and tension, underscoring the complexities of friendship forged in adversity. As the journey progresses, the group approaches the borders of a realm long shrouded in legend and fear. The mountain they seek is more than a physical destination. It is a symbol of the unknown, a repository of ancient power and peril. The air grows heavy with anticipation and unease, the natural world reflecting the escalating tension within the company. Every shadow and sound carries the weight of what lies ahead, setting the stage for encounters that will irrevocably alter their path. The narrative deftly balances sweeping action sequences with intimate moments of character development. Scenes of narrow escapes and fierce battles are interspersed with quiet conversations around campfires, where fears, hopes, and histories are shared. These interludes deepen our understanding of the characters' motivations and the emotional stakes of their quest, creating a rich tapestry that is as much about internal journeys as external challenges. An important thread woven through the early story is the presence of magic and mystery, embodied in artifacts and ancient beings whose true nature and intentions are often ambiguous. This element adds layers of intrigue, inviting reflection on the relationship between power and responsibility and the blurred lines between ally and adversary. The characters' encounters with these forces challenge their perceptions and force difficult choices, underscoring the film's exploration of moral complexity. One cannot overlook the role of the natural environment, which is rendered with vivid detail and reverence. The forests, rivers, and mountains are not merely settings but characters in their own right, shaping the narrative through their moods and dangers. The interplay of light and shadow in these landscapes creates a visual metaphor for the themes of hope and despair, safety and threat, growth and decay. As the company draws closer to their goal, internal conflicts come to the fore. Differences in temperament and ideology spark tensions that threaten to unravel the fragile unity. The struggle to maintain cohesion amid fear and uncertainty becomes a compelling subplot, highlighting the human and non-human cost of their ambition. These moments of discord are portrayed with nuance, avoiding simple binaries to reveal the messy realities of loyalty and leadership. The first half culminates in a sequence that is as visually breathtaking as it is narratively pivotal. The company's approach to the mountain's shadow reveals both the grandeur of their quest and the enormity of the obstacles before them. This crescendo is marked by a collision of hope and dread, action and reflection, a turning point that promises transformation but carries the weight of loss. Throughout this opening segment, the film invites us to contemplate the nature of courage, not as an absence of fear, but as the will to act despite it. The characters' vulnerabilities and strengths are laid bare, making their triumphs and failures deeply resonant. Their journey becomes a mirror reflecting our own struggles with uncertainty, loyalty, and the quest for meaning in a complex world. The intricate weaving of personal and epic elements ensures that the story never feels merely fantastical but grounded in emotional truth. It beckons us to invest not just in the outcome, but in the nuanced humanity of those who dare to venture beyond the familiar. This dual focus is what makes the narrative so compelling, transforming a tale of adventure into a profound exploration of identity, destiny, and the enduring power of hope. In the midst of action and tension, there are moments of humor and lightness, small, human gestures that remind us of the characters' resilience and camaraderie. These instances offer relief without diminishing the stakes, enriching the storytelling with warmth and depth. They underscore the importance of connection and laughter even when shadows loom large. As the story unfolds, the tension between the individual and the collective is palpable. Each character's choices ripple outward, influencing not only their fate but the destiny of the company and the broader world. This dynamic interplay raises questions about agency, sacrifice, and the costs of leadership, inviting us to ponder the delicate balance between personal desire and communal responsibility. The first half is, in essence, an invitation, a call to embark on a journey where the familiar dissolves into the unknown, where every step forward is fraught with peril and possibility. It challenges us to embrace complexity and uncertainty, mirroring the protagonist's own evolving understanding of the world and themselves. By the end of this segment, the groundwork is laid for deeper revelations and challenges. The characters are poised on the brink of transformation, their bonds tested but not broken, their resolve steeled by the trials endured. The path ahead promises greater dangers and profound choices, setting the stage for a continuation that will explore the full measure of their courage and humanity. This opening act, rich with detail and layered emotion, stands as a testament to the power of storytelling to capture the full spectrum of the human experience: adventure, fear, friendship, and the eternal quest for meaning. It beckons us to look beyond the surface, to find the echoes of our own journeys in the trials and triumphs of those who walk the path before us. The path that once seemed so clearly drawn now twists into shadow and uncertainty, and the company we've come to know is no longer the same. The weight of their journey presses on each soul in ways both visible and unseen. As they move deeper into the heart of this ancient realm, the stakes escalate, not just in battles fought with sword and cunning, but in the quiet, wrenching decisions that test their very humanity. Our small hobbit, who has grown in ways subtle yet profound, finds himself caught between loyalty and self-preservation, between the innocence he still clings to and the harsh truths he can no longer deny. It's in these moments of internal conflict that the story truly breathes, where the grand sweep of adventure narrows into the intimate landscape of a heart struggling to find its place amid chaos. The mountain's shadow stretches long and ominous, harboring not only treasure but a secret so immense that it threatens to unravel all that the company has fought for. Here, the dragon, magnificent, terrifying, and utterly alive, makes its presence known. Its arrival is more than spectacle, it is a reckoning. The dragon embodies the very forces the characters have been wrestling with: greed, fear, power, and destruction. Its every movement, every breath of fire is charged with symbolism, a force of nature and myth that reshapes the narrative's emotional geography. The confrontation with this colossal creature is a study in tension and terror. It's not just a battle of strength, but a battle of wills, where courage must meet cunning, and desperation is tempered by fleeting hope. The interplay between the dragon and the protagonists is electric. Moments of near defeat are punctuated by sparks of ingenuity and valor. Watching the hobbit move with quickness and heart, daring to face such overwhelming odds, is to witness a kind of quiet heroism that defies the grandiosity of the moment. Yet the dragon's menace is only one thread in the unfolding tapestry. Internal tensions within the company come to a head, revealing fractures that threaten to splinter their fragile alliance. Old wounds reopen as fears and suspicions surface, forcing characters to confront not only external dangers but the betrayals and regrets that have shadowed their steps. These interpersonal conflicts add a rich emotional complexity, reminding us that the greatest battles are often fought within. A pivotal twist emerges as secrets long buried begin to surface, changing the dynamics of the quest. Revelations about lineage, loyalty, and sacrifice shift our understanding of characters' motivations and the true nature of the treasure they seek. These moments of revelation carry a bittersweet weight, blending hope with sorrow and illuminating the costs of ambition. The narrative deepens here, moving beyond the simple allure of gold to explore the intangible riches and losses that define the human experience. The film's pacing reflects this emotional layering. High-octane sequences of chase and combat alternate with moments of stillness and introspection, where characters grapple with the meaning of their journey. The quiet scenes are no less powerful, offering space for reflection and connection amid the storm. They allow us to see the vulnerabilities beneath the armor, the doubts, fears, and flickers of hope that make these figures so relatable and real. One of the most striking developments is the evolving relationship between the hobbit and the woman who has come to symbolize both grounding and challenge. Their interactions are charged with unspoken understanding and tender complexity. In the face of chaos, their connection becomes a lifeline, a reminder of what is worth fighting for beyond treasure or glory. These moments are rendered with a delicate touch, their emotional resonance heightened by the subtlety of expression and gesture. As the narrative builds toward its climax, the sense of inevitability grows, choices made cannot be undone, and consequences ripple outward like shockwaves. The confrontation with the dragon reaches a crescendo of tension and spectacle, balanced by deeply personal stakes. It is a moment that demands sacrifice and courage in equal measure, where heroes are forged in fire and shadow. In the resolution, the film resists neat closure. Instead, it offers a poignant meditation on the aftermath of triumph and loss. The survivors bear the marks of their journey, physical scars and emotional wounds that speak to the price of survival. The world they return to is both familiar and irrevocably changed, reflecting the transformation within. Hope glimmers in the fragile bonds they rebuild and the lessons they carry forward. The film's closing scenes linger on this delicate balance between ending and beginning. They invite us to consider the cyclical nature of stories and lives, the way endings often fold into new starts, and how the past continually informs the future. The protagonist's gaze, steady and reflective, captures this sense of ongoing journey, a quiet affirmation that even in uncertainty, there is meaning to be found. Throughout this latter half, the themes of identity, courage, and sacrifice are woven with care and subtlety. The characters' struggles are rendered with empathy and nuance, allowing us to see ourselves in their flaws and hopes. The narrative's interplay of myth and humanity creates a resonant echo, reminding us of the timeless power of stories to illuminate the depths of the soul. Ultimately, this portion of the film is a testament to resilience, not just in the face of external threats but in the quiet battles waged within. It asks us to consider what we hold on to when the world shifts beneath our feet, and what we are willing to risk for those we love. It's a story of light and shadow, loss and redemption, where every step forward carries the weight of what came before. As we close this chapter, there's a sense of both fulfillment and yearning. The tale we've journeyed through is rich with adventure and emotion, but it also leaves space for reflection on the nature of heroism, the complexities of loyalty, and the enduring quest for meaning. It's a story that stays with us, inviting us to return again and again, finding new insights with each viewing. In the end, what resonates most is the humanity at the core, a reminder that even in worlds of dragons and gold, it is our hearts, our choices, and our connections that truly define us. This is a narrative that, like all great stories, holds a mirror up to our own struggles and dreams, urging us to face our fears and embrace the unknown with courage and hope. There's something deeply intimate about getting to know characters in a story, not just as fictional creations, but as echoes of ourselves, reflections of our fears, hopes, and contradictions. When I think about the characters in this film, I'm struck by how richly they are drawn, how layered and human they feel beneath the fantasy. They don't simply move through a plot. They wrestle with who they are, what they want, and what they're willing to risk, and it's in these struggles that their true power emerges. Let's start with our central figure, the hobbit whose journey is both physical and profoundly internal. What I find so compelling about him is his quiet resilience. At first glance, he seems almost fragile, overwhelmed by the enormity of the quest and the dangers it entails. But there's an undercurrent of strength, a steady, growing courage that unfolds gradually, almost imperceptibly. Watching him, I'm reminded of moments in my own life when uncertainty felt paralyzing, yet small steps forward made all the difference. He embodies the tension between fear and hope, between the comfort of the known and the pull of the unknown. His humility is not weakness, but a form of bravery that often gets overlooked in grand tales of heroism. It's in the small decisions, the acts of kindness, the moments of doubt that he reveals his depth. And I think that's what makes him so relatable, not a perfect hero, but someone real, struggling and evolving. His journey invites us to see that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward anyway. The company of dwarves around him is equally fascinating. They come with their own histories and burdens, and their relationships feel raw and textured. There's a pride and stubbornness that often masks deep wounds, a fierce loyalty tangled with frustration and pain. Their leader in particular carries the weight of responsibility with a mixture of determination and vulnerability. I see in him the struggle many face when burdened with leadership, the need to be strong for others while wrestling with doubt and regret internally. What struck me was how their camaraderie isn't just about shared goals but about navigating brokenness together. They bicker and clash, sure, but beneath that is a bond forged through hardship and shared longing. It reminded me of friendships that have weathered storms, where flaws don't drive people apart but bind them closer. Their interactions bring a kind of warmth and humor amid the tension, reminding us that even in darkness, connection can be a lifeline. Then there's the figure of the woman who enters this story, not just as a companion but as a force that challenges and grounds the hobbit. Her presence is nuanced, neither idealized nor sidelined. She's layered with her own motivations and complexities, and the way their relationship unfolds feels authentic and tender. Watching their moments together, I'm reminded of how relationships can be both sanctuary and challenge, offering hope while demanding honesty. What I appreciate most is how the film respects her agency. She's not a mere plot device but a character with strength and subtlety. Her interactions with the Hobbit reveal facets of both their personalities, and their bond becomes a quiet anchor in the chaos. This portrayal resonated deeply with me because it felt real, relationships that grow in the spaces between words and actions, built on mutual respect and vulnerability. The antagonists, too, deserve attention, not just as obstacles but as characters shaped by their own histories and desires. The dragon, with all its might and menace, is more than a beast. It's a symbol of overwhelming power and the corrupting allure of greed. Its presence looms large, embodying the primal fears and challenges the protagonists must face. But even in this creature, there's a certain tragic grandeur, a reminder that power without balance is destructive. The other foes encountered along the way, shadowy figures, hostile forces, are sketched with enough complexity to feel threatening yet not cartoonish. They represent the pervasive dangers of the world, but also the choices that define us. Their interactions with the main characters highlight the moral ambiguities that run through the story, the lines between friend and foe, right and wrong, survival and sacrifice. These shades of gray give the narrative richness and invite us to think beyond simple binaries. The supporting characters, though sometimes in the background, add texture and depth to the world. Each has quirks, fears, and moments of bravery that remind us how every individual carries a story worth telling. Their presence enriches the narrative tapestry, making the journey feel lived in and real. It's in these smaller roles that the film's sense of community and shared struggle really shines through. What moved me profoundly was the way the film allows characters to be flawed and vulnerable. There are no perfect heroes here. Everyone carries scars, makes mistakes, and wrestles with doubt. This honesty makes their triumphs feel earned and their failures relatable. It mirrors real life in all its messiness, our own battles with identity, loyalty, fear, and hope. The visual storytelling supports this emotional depth. Close-ups linger on faces marked by weariness or determination. Gestures, sometimes a glance, sometimes a trembling hand, speak volumes. The subtle nuances of performance bring these characters to life in a way that words alone cannot capture. It's a reminder that cinema, at its best, is a language of feeling as much as narrative. As I reflect on these characters, I find myself drawn into their world not just as a spectator, but as a fellow traveler. Their journeys echo the universal human experience, the longing for belonging, the courage to face the unknown, the painful but necessary process of growth. They remind me that stories are mirrors, reflecting our own hopes and fears back to us, offering insight and sometimes comfort. This connection is what makes character analysis more than an academic exercise. It becomes a personal exploration, a way to understand not only the film but ourselves. Through these characters we see the complexity of life, the interplay of light and shadow, strength and fragility, despair and resilience. In the end, the characters leave us with a lasting impression. That heroism comes in many forms, often quiet and uncelebrated, that friendship and love are powerful forces amid adversity, and that the journey toward understanding of self and other is as important as any destination. Their stories invite us to embrace our own complexities and to find courage in the face of uncertainty. This is why the characters resonate so deeply. They are not distant archetypes but vivid, breathing beings who reflect the very essence of what it means to be human. And it is in their stories that we find the heart of the film, the thread that connects all its elements into a rich, meaningful whole. There's an almost magical aura that surrounds the making of a film like this, an epic journey behind the camera that rivals the adventure on screen. The layers of storytelling don't stop when the credits roll. They extend deep into the shadows of the production, where fascinating, quirky, and sometimes downright strange facts take root. These hidden stories and unusual occurrences not only enrich our appreciation of the film, but also remind us of the sheer human effort, unpredictability, and occasional chaos that go into creating cinematic art. One of the first things that caught my attention was the sheer scale and ambition of the production. To bring this world to life required not just artistry, but a logistical feat that defies easy description. The filmmakers chose to shoot in multiple locations that offered both natural grandeur and the flexibility to build elaborate sets. From the towering peaks that doubled for ancient mountains to the misty forests that breathed an air of mystery, every environment was painstakingly selected. But what's truly remarkable is how these locations often posed challenges that tested the crew's resilience. Take, for example, the scenes filmed deep within a remote forest that was supposed to be serene and otherworldly. During shooting, the crew encountered unexpected weather patterns, sudden fog that rolled in thick and heavy, transforming the set into a ghostly realm. At first, this was a headache, disrupting shooting schedules and complicating lighting setups. But the director saw an opportunity in this natural phenomenon, incorporating the mist into the narrative to enhance the sense of mystery and suspense. It's a beautiful reminder of how nature, unpredictable and wild, can become an unplanned collaborator in storytelling. Another unusual aspect revolves around the use of practical effects combined with cutting-edge technology. While the film is celebrated for its groundbreaking visual effects, many sequences involved real stunts and detailed miniatures. One fascinating behind-the-scenes tidbit involves a massive miniature model of the dragon's lair, crafted with incredible precision. The artisans who built it used thousands of tiny components, from carved stones to miniature furniture, to create a space so intricate that it could be filmed from multiple angles and lit to mimic natural cave lighting. This miniature wasn't just a prop, it was a tiny world in itself, alive with detail and texture. The dedication of the artists extended beyond models to costumes and makeup. The armor worn by the dwarves, for instance, was handcrafted with such attention that each piece told a story. The metalwork bore marks of imagined battles and wear, and the leather was treated to look aged and weathered authentically. I was fascinated to learn that some costumes took weeks to create and involved collaboration between historians, artisans, and designers to ensure they felt grounded in a believable culture. This commitment to realism, even within a fantasy setting, adds a tactile richness that helps anchor the story emotionally. Perhaps one of the strangest production stories involves the filming of a high-tension chase scene through narrow caves. The sequence was physically demanding, with actors navigating tight spaces while performing stunts. During one take, an unexpected cave-in of small rocks occurred, not dangerous but startling enough to disrupt filming. The crew humorously nicknamed the incident the cave's way of saying hello. What's more intriguing is how the director decided to keep some of the natural debris in the final cut, lending an extra layer of authenticity and rawness to the scene. The actors themselves brought layers of commitment and sometimes unexpected behavior to their roles. The lead actor, embodying the Hobbit, famously insisted on learning every single line in the original language crafted for the story's world, known as the Elvish tongue. His dedication extended beyond memorization. He worked closely with language coaches to master pronunciation and cadence, understanding that language carries emotional weight and cultural identity. This passion didn't go unnoticed, and it enriched the performances, adding subtle depth that fans who understand the language deeply appreciate. In contrast, the actors playing the dwarves created a unique bond off-screen that translated into their performances. They formed what they called a brotherhood, spending long hours rehearsing not just lines, but shared movements and gestures to capture the feel of a close-knit, ancient clan. They even developed their own inside jokes and rituals, some of which made their way into behind-the-scenes footage and interviews. This camaraderie lent a vibrant, authentic energy to their interactions, transforming potentially flat ensemble scenes into moments brimming with life and warmth. Technical challenges abounded, especially when it came to integrating live-action performances with CGI. One memorable challenge was filming the scenes with the dragon, a character so enormous and complex that it required innovative solutions. Since the dragon was computer-generated, actors had to perform with stand-ins, or simply with the knowledge of where the creature would be. This demanded intense imagination and precise timing. The filmmakers used large green screen puppets and markers on set to guide eye lines and gestures. The patience and skill required of the cast to react convincingly to something invisible speak volumes about their professionalism. Interestingly, the dragon's design itself went through multiple iterations, with input from animators, artists, and even behavioral scientists to create a creature that felt both mythical and believable. They studied real reptiles and birds to model its movements, breathing, and expressions, blending biology with fantasy. This fusion resulted in a creature that commands awe and terror, yet displays subtle intelligence and personality. It's a fascinating example of how art and science intersect in modern filmmaking. Another piece of trivia that tickled me involves the sound design team's inventive approach to the dragon's voice and roar. Instead of relying solely on animal sounds, they layered human vocalizations, mechanical noises, and manipulated audio clips to craft a unique soundscape. One of the oddest sources was a recording of a baby elephant's trumpet slowed down and mixed with metal grinding sounds. The result is both primal and otherworldly, perfectly matching the dragon's majestic menace. Beyond the high-tech and grand scale, there were charmingly low-tech solutions that reveal the ingenuity behind the scenes. For scenes requiring realistic fire or smoke, the crew sometimes used actual controlled fires and smoke machines combined with digital effects. They also used large fans to simulate wind and debris, adding tactile elements that enhanced the actor's immersion and the visual impact. These practical effects create a physicality that pure CGI often struggles to replicate. In a lighter vein, the film's long shooting schedule and remote locations fostered unexpected moments of bonding and humor. Cast and crew shared stories of impromptu games and performances during downtime, from musical jams to storytelling sessions. These moments of joy and camaraderie helped maintain morale amid the grueling demands of production and remind us that filmmaking is as much about human connection as it is about art. Even wardrobe mishaps became part of the lore. One actress recalled a scene where her costume's elaborate headpiece unexpectedly came loose mid-shot, prompting an improvised but hilarious moment that was later embraced and even lightly referenced in promotional materials. These unplanned incidents remind us that behind the polished final product lies a world of spontaneity and creative problem-solving. The editing process was equally intense and meticulous. Editors worked closely with the director to balance pacing and tone, often experimenting with scene order and duration to heighten emotional impact. Early cuts reportedly ran much longer, with extended sequences of quiet reflection that were trimmed for pacing, but treasured by the filmmakers for their depth. The collaborative nature of editing allowed the film to find its rhythm, a dance between spectacle and subtlety. Music also played a vital role, with the composer drawing inspiration from traditional instruments and cultural motifs to evoke the film's mythic roots. Sessions with live musicians added a layer of authenticity and warmth, blending orchestral grandeur with intimate moments. The soundtrack's evolution mirrored the narrative's emotional arc, supporting without overpowering, enhancing the film's immersive quality. For fans, one of the most intriguing facts might be the film's use of Easter eggs, small visual or auditory nods to the broader lore and previous stories. These hidden details invite repeat viewings and deepen engagement, rewarding those who look closely. They create a sense of shared discovery, connecting the film to a larger narrative universe in subtle, playful ways. Lastly, the film's release itself marked a milestone in cinematic history, pushing technological boundaries and setting new standards for fantasy filmmaking. Its impact resonates not only in box office success, but in the lasting community of fans, scholars, and creators it continues to inspire. Behind the scenes, the strange and wonderful tales of creation serve as a testament to the magic that happens when vision, craft, and passion collide. In peeling back these layers, the weather's surprises, the handcrafted miniatures, the actor's dedication, the blend of technology and tradition, we glimpse the heartbeat of a truly monumental work. These behind-the-scenes stories enrich our understanding and deepen our love, reminding us that every frame is a product of countless human moments, moments of struggle, creativity, laughter, and hope. It's this tapestry of effort and serendipity that makes the film not just a story on screen, but a living, breathing testament to the art of storytelling itself. There's a certain pulse beneath the surface of this film, a rhythm made not only by its unfolding events but by the layers of meaning and emotion those events evoke. As I reflect on the significant moments that shape the narrative, I find myself drawn into a web of interpretation that extends beyond spectacle, inviting a deeper engagement with what the story says about human nature, power, and transformation. Each key event becomes a node in a complex dialogue between the film and its audience, shaping how we understand its impact and enduring resonance. The journey truly begins with the company's decision to leave the familiar safety of home and step into the unknown. This moment, though simple on its surface, carries immense thematic weight. It's a metaphor for growth and the painful process of leaving comfort behind. From a critical perspective, this departure signals the archetypal hero's call to adventure, a narrative anchor that aligns the story with ancient mythic structures while rooting it in very human experience. The emotional tension here, between fear and excitement, hesitation and resolve, sets the tone for what follows, making the audience not just observers but participants in the character's leap of faith. The tension between the company's unity and internal conflict is another vital event that demands critical attention. Moments of discord, whether sparked by differing motivations, fears, or pride, reveal the fragile nature of human alliances, especially under pressure. This internal struggle adds complexity to what might otherwise be a straightforward quest narrative. It's a reminder that even shared goals cannot erase individual insecurities and histories. From a thematic standpoint, this conflict mirrors real-world dynamics of trust, leadership, and compromise, lending the film an emotional authenticity that resonates deeply. One of the most striking sequences is the encounter with the dragon, a scene that operates on multiple levels. Visually, it's a breathtaking spectacle, a pinnacle of cinematic craft. But critically, it serves as a crucible for the characters' fears and desires. The dragon embodies not just physical danger but the consuming power of greed and the destructive potential of unchecked ambition. This confrontation becomes a moral and psychological battlefield, where the characters' inner demons surface alongside the external threat. The interplay of light and shadow in this scene enhances its symbolic weight, casting the dragon as both monster and mirror. This event's reception highlights how audiences respond not only to spectacle, but to thematic depth. The dragon's portrayal invites viewers to consider the costs of desire and the nature of power, questions that elevate the scene beyond mere fantasy action. Critics and fans alike have noted how this moment crystallizes the film's exploration of temptation, courage, and the fragile boundary between heroism and hubris. It's a testament to the film's success in blending visual grandeur with substantive storytelling. Another pivotal event deserving analysis is the revelation of betrayal within the company. This twist destabilizes the narrative and forces characters and viewers alike to reconsider alliances and motivations. From a critical lens, betrayal functions as a catalyst for character development and thematic exploration. It exposes the precariousness of trust and the painful consequences of fractured loyalty. Emotionally, it deepens the story's complexity, transforming interpersonal dynamics and heightening dramatic tension. This event also challenges simplistic moral binaries. The film refuses to paint betrayers as one-dimensional villains, instead presenting them as nuanced figures shaped by fear, desperation, or misguided loyalty. This approach invites empathy and reflection on the ambiguous nature of human choices. The audience is compelled to grapple with questions of forgiveness, justice, and the possibility of redemption, enriching the film's ethical landscape. The narrative's use of memory and flashbacks is a powerful device that intertwines past and present. These sequences deepen character backstories and illuminate motivations, creating a layered temporal structure that reflects the psychological reality of trauma and reflection. Critically, this nonlinear storytelling invites viewers to engage actively, piecing together fragments to form a fuller understanding. It mirrors the film's thematic interest in the persistence of the past and the challenges of moving forward. The emotional resonance of these flashbacks is heightened by their visual and auditory treatment, often softer, more muted, distinguishing them from the present narrative. This stylistic choice enhances the film's exploration of memory as both a source of pain and insight. It also allows the audience to inhabit the characters' internal worlds, fostering empathy and emotional depth. The film's portrayal of female characters offers another rich avenue for critical reflection. Their roles challenge and expand traditional genre expectations, moving beyond stereotypical depictions to present women as complex agents of change and emotional depth. This nuanced representation contributes to the film's broader thematic concerns with identity, agency, and relational dynamics. The interactions between female and male characters reveal layers of power, vulnerability, and connection that enrich the narrative texture. Critically, this approach has been praised for adding sophistication to the film's character dynamics and narrative possibilities. It resonates with contemporary conversations about representation and inclusivity, situating the film within a larger cultural context. The emotional authenticity of these portrayals enhances the film's appeal and deepens audience engagement. Sound design and music also play pivotal roles in shaping the film's atmosphere and emotional impact. The score's subtle integration of thematic motifs supports narrative progression and character development. Auditory cues often foreshadow events or underscore emotional shifts, creating a layered sensory experience. From a critical viewpoint, this sophisticated use of sound elevates the film beyond visual spectacle, making it a multisensory exploration of mood and meaning. The editing rhythm further contributes to the film's emotional architecture. The deliberate pacing balances moments of tension and release, action and reflection. Scenes linger just long enough to allow emotional beats to resonate without dragging, maintaining narrative momentum while honoring character complexity. This balance enhances viewer immersion and supports the film's thematic ambitions. The film's visual symbolism enriches its critical depth. Recurring motifs such as light and shadow, water and mirrors function as visual metaphors for themes of transformation, identity, and duality. These elements create a cohesive visual language that invites interpretation and rewards attentive viewing. Their integration into key scenes deepens the narrative's emotional and philosophical resonance. Audience and critical reception reflect the film's success in balancing spectacle with substance. Reviews often highlight its layered storytelling and emotional complexity, praising its willingness to engage with challenging themes within a fantasy framework. Viewers report feeling both exhilarated and moved, a testament to the film's effective blend of entertainment and introspection. The film's impact extends beyond its initial release, inspiring scholarly analysis and fan discourse. Its themes of courage, sacrifice, and the interplay of light and darkness resonate across cultural and temporal boundaries. This ongoing engagement underscores its significance as a work that transcends genre, inviting continual reflection and reinterpretation. In sum, the significant events of the film serve as touchstones for exploring deeper human truths. Through critical analysis, we see how narrative choices, character development, and aesthetic strategies converge to create a richly textured work. This layered storytelling invites us not only to witness a tale of adventure, but to engage with questions of identity, morality, and transformation. By unpacking these events, we gain insight into the film's emotional core and thematic ambitions. It becomes clear that beneath the grandeur lies a meditation on the human condition, our fears, hopes, and the enduring quest for meaning amid uncertainty. This perspective enriches our appreciation and deepens our connection to the story. As we reflect on these moments and their resonance, we recognize the power of cinema to illuminate and challenge. The film stands as an invitation to look beyond spectacle, to seek the truths that stories reveal about ourselves and the world. It reminds us that great storytelling is not just about what happens, but what it means and how it moves us. This critical journey through the film's key events opens a space for dialogue and discovery. It encourages us to return to the narrative with fresh eyes, uncovering new layers and insights. Through this ongoing engagement, the film continues to live and breathe, a vibrant work that speaks across time and culture. Ultimately, these perspectives deepen our understanding not only of the film, but of the art of storytelling itself. They reveal how carefully crafted moments, whether quiet or grand, can resonate with profound emotional and philosophical weight. This is the enduring magic of cinema, to connect us with the depths of human experience through the lens of imagination. In embracing this complexity, we find a richer, more meaningful encounter with the film. It becomes more than a story on screen. It becomes a mirror, a question, and a companion on our own journeys of discovery. And it is in this shared space of reflection and feeling that the film's true impact lies. There's a certain magic that comes alive when you peel back the curtain on a film's creation, a world where creativity, challenges, and human stories intertwine in ways just as compelling as the narrative on screen. The production of this film was no exception. Behind the grandeur and spectacle lies a tapestry of moments, some triumphant, some chaotic, and many downright quirky, that reveal the heartbeat of filmmaking itself. These insights don't just tell us how the film was made, they invite us into the shared adventure of bringing a dream to life, reminding us that cinema is as much about the people who make it as the stories they tell. From the earliest days, the vision for the film was ambitious, aiming to build a world that felt vast, immersive, and authentic. The director and creative team were determined to balance cutting-edge technology with practical effects and grounded performances. This commitment shaped every aspect of production, from location scouting to costume design. What's fascinating is how this blend of tradition and innovation became a defining characteristic, giving the film a texture that resonates deeply. One of the first challenges was selecting locations that could convincingly represent the varied landscapes central to the story. The team traveled extensively, searching for places that combined natural beauty with a sense of history and mystery. Remote forests, rugged mountains, and sweeping plains were all carefully chosen, not only for their visual appeal, but for how their atmospheres could enhance the narrative. I love how these locations became characters in their own right, each with its own mood and energy that shaped the actors' performances and the film's emotional tone. There's an often unseen artistry woven into every frame of a film, an invisible thread of techniques and choices that shape not only what we see and hear, but how we feel, how we breathe with the story. This film, with its sprawling landscapes and intimate moments, is a masterclass in the power of filmmaking craft. As I reflect on the techniques employed, I'm struck by how each element, from camera movement to sound design, works in harmony to create a living, breathing world that draws us in fully. At the heart of the film's visual storytelling is the cinematography, a dance of light, shadow, and movement that carries the viewer through both vast panoramas and close, emotional beats. The filmmakers made deliberate choices to vary camera techniques to reflect the shifting moods and themes of the narrative. Sweeping aerial shots introduce the grandeur of the world, the rugged mountains, dense forests, and ancient ruins, inviting awe and a sense of scale that grounds the fantasy in something tangible. These shots aren't just establishing scenery, they serve as a visual invitation to embark on an epic journey, setting a tone of wonder and anticipation. Contrasting these expansive views are the intimate handheld or steady close-ups that bring us into the characters' inner worlds. The camera lingers on faces marked by fear, hope, or determination, capturing subtle expressions that words might fail to convey. This oscillation between grand and personal visual styles creates a rhythm that mirrors the story's emotional beats, moments of quiet reflection nestled amid high-stakes adventure. The cinematography's fluidity enhances immersion, making us feel both the vastness of the quest and the vulnerability of those who undertake it. Lighting is another essential component shaping the film's atmosphere. The interplay of natural and artificial light is used with exquisite sensitivity to evoke mood and symbolism. Soft, warm light bathes scenes of home and safety, suffusing them with a nostalgic glow. In contrast, scenes of danger or moral ambiguity are often cloaked in cooler, harsher lighting, with shadows playing across faces and landscapes to hint at hidden threats. This dynamic use of light and shadow not only enhances visual interest but deepens thematic resonance, making the environment itself a participant in the narrative. The color palette of the film is carefully curated to support the storytelling. Earthy tones dominate the natural settings, reinforcing a sense of grounded realism, while bursts of color, fiery reds, deep golds, signal moments of danger, passion, or transformation. This restrained yet deliberate use of color helps guide the viewer's emotional response, subtly underscoring shifts in tone or character state. It's a reminder of how color can speak a language beyond dialogue, shaping mood and meaning. Editing plays a pivotal role in crafting the film's narrative flow and emotional impact. The pacing is thoughtfully calibrated, balancing moments of tension and action with quieter, contemplative scenes. Action sequences are often edited with rapid cuts that heighten excitement and urgency, immersing the viewer in the chaos and stakes of battle or chase. Conversely, character-driven scenes unfold at a measured pace, allowing space for emotional nuance and reflection. This rhythmic editing mirrors the ebb and flow of the story, guiding us through its peaks and valleys with a sense of natural progression. Transitions between scenes are handled with care to maintain continuity and atmosphere. Dissolves, fades, and carefully timed cuts create a sense of temporal and emotional flow, sometimes blurring the lines between memory and present action. This editing technique invites viewers to engage with the film's psychological layers, enhancing its thematic depth. The seamless weaving of narrative threads reflects the collaborative craft of editors and directors working in harmony. Sound design is another cornerstone of the film's immersive experience. Beyond dialogue and music, the layered soundscape envelops the viewer, creating a tangible sense of place and mood. Ambient noises, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of creatures, the crackling of fire, are carefully mixed to enhance realism and atmosphere. These subtle auditory cues deepen immersion, making environments feel alive and dynamic. The musical score complements and elevates the narrative without overwhelming it. Themes recur and evolve, echoing character arcs and narrative shifts. The The composer's use of traditional instruments interwoven with orchestral arrangements adds texture and cultural resonance, connecting the film's fantastical elements to a sense of history and mythology. Music punctuates moments of tension, sorrow, and triumph, guiding the viewer's emotional journey. Dialogue and voice work are recorded and mixed to maintain clarity and intimacy, often emphasizing naturalistic delivery to preserve authenticity. This choice reinforces character realism, making interactions feel genuine amid the film's epic scope. The careful balance of sound elements ensures that dialogue remains clear without sacrificing the richness of the surrounding soundscape. Visual effects, both practical and digital, are seamlessly integrated to support storytelling. Practical effects, detailed miniatures, animatronics, and in-camera tricks provide tactile realism, grounding fantasy elements in tangible textures. Digital effects enhance these foundations, creating creatures, environments, and phenomena that would be impossible otherwise. The collaboration between VFX artists and on-set departments ensures cohesion and believability, allowing the audience to suspend disbelief fully. Camera work is often choreographed to reflect narrative themes. For instance, shaky handheld shots during moments of chaos convey disorientation and urgency, while smooth tracking shots evoke a sense of purpose and control. The use of depth of field, framing, and composition directs attention and conveys psychological states, using visual cues to deepen storytelling without words. These deliberate choices invite viewers to read emotion and meaning in every frame. The film's box office production strategy was as carefully crafted as its artistic elements. Marketing emphasized both the epic adventure and the intimate human stories, appealing to a broad audience while honoring the film's depth. Early teasers highlighted the breathtaking visuals and action sequences, building anticipation and excitement. Behind-the-scenes content and interactive experiences were used to engage fans, creating a community eager to explore the film's world more deeply. The release strategy balanced traditional theatrical runs with innovative digital outreach, recognizing changing viewing habits and the importance of accessibility. This approach helped the film achieve impressive box office success, reflecting both its entertainment value and its resonance with audiences. Critical acclaim and fan enthusiasm fueled sustained interest, contributing to its lasting impact. Reflecting on the filmmaking techniques, it's clear that the film's atmosphere and emotional power emerge from a finely tuned synthesis of visual, auditory, and narrative elements. Each technique, cinematography, editing, sound, effects, serves the story and characters, working together to create a fully realized world. This holistic craftsmanship invites viewers not just to watch but to experience, to lose themselves in the film's moods and meanings. The film stands as a testament to the collaborative artistry of cinema, where technology and human creativity merge to tell stories that move us. It reminds us that behind every stunning image and stirring note lies a web of choices, innovations, and passions dedicated to the craft of storytelling. In this way, the film's filmmaking techniques and production journey become part of the story themselves, an epic tale of creativity, challenge, and triumph that parallels the adventure unfolding on screen. And as viewers, knowing these layers enriches our engagement, allowing us to appreciate not only what we see and hear, but the immense human effort that brings it all to life. There are stories of crews working in conditions that tested their endurance. Imagine shooting in mountain passes where weather could shift in minutes, from bright sun to sudden storms, or deep forests where the air is thick with fog and the ground uneven and treacherous. Yet amidst these challenges, the team found moments of wonder, a sunrise that bathed the scene in golden light, or the sound of wind through ancient trees that seemed to whisper stories of their own. These natural elements were embraced, not fought, becoming part of the film's soul. The production design team deserves special mention. Their task was monumental, to create environments that felt lived in and historically grounded, yet also tinged with the fantastic. From sprawling fortress interiors to humble woodland camps, every set piece was crafted with meticulous care. One anecdote that stands out involves the creation of a dwarven hall, where artisans hand-carved intricate woodwork and forged metal accents. The attention to detail was staggering, each carving telling a story, each texture chosen to evoke a sense of time and culture. Walking through that set was like stepping into a world where history breathed. Costume design was another arena of remarkable dedication. The filmmakers sought to reflect not just the practicality of the characters' lives, but their personalities and histories through clothing. The dwarves' armor, for example, was not mass-produced, but tailored to suggest the characters' individual journey, with dents and scratches that hinted at past battles. The fabrics, colors, and styles were chosen to evoke a rich cultural tapestry, grounding the fantasy in tangible reality. I was fascinated to learn that many costumes underwent weathering processes, sun bleaching, mud staining, and deliberate fraying to achieve that authentic worn look. On the technological front, the film pushed boundaries, particularly in its use of visual effects, yet what surprised me was the extent to which practical effects were integrated. The team recognized that CGI alone couldn't create the tactile sense of presence and weight needed for many scenes. They combined motion capture performances with physical props and animatronics to bring creatures and environments to life. One standout example was the creation of a massive miniature model of a key fortress. This detailed hand-built set was filmed with precision lighting and camera work, then blended seamlessly with digital effects, resulting in a believable, immersive space. Behind the scenes, the collaboration between departments was intense and often inspiring. The director's vision was communicated through frequent meetings and workshops, where artists, technicians, and performers shared ideas and refined concepts. I'm always moved by stories of how small gestures, an actor's improvised line, a designer's spontaneous sketch can ripple through the production, shaping the final film in unexpected ways. It's a reminder that filmmaking is a living, breathing process fueled by creativity and openness. The actors themselves brought dedication and camaraderie that enlivened the set. Long hours and challenging physical demands required stamina, but also a spirit of mutual support. There are charming anecdotes about the ensemble developing rituals to sustain morale, a shared playlist of songs, impromptu storytelling sessions, and moments of laughter that broke the tension. These glimpses of humanity behind the camera add warmth to the epic tale being told. One particularly amusing story involves the handling of a costume prop that proved surprisingly cumbersome. An actor who wore a heavy helmet with intricate detailing found himself unable to see properly during a chase scene. The crew improvised by attaching a small mirror and a series of signals to help him navigate safely. The solution became a running joke on set, symbolizing the blend of creativity and problem-solving that marked the production. The filming of complex action sequences also brought unexpected challenges. Coordinating large groups of extras, stunts, and special effects required precise choreography. On one occasion, a miscommunication led to a near collision between horses and actors during a charge scene. Thankfully, everyone remained safe, and the incident became a story shared with humor and relief. These moments underscore how fragile and unpredictable such large-scale productions can be, and how much trust and teamwork they demand. Post-production was another world of discovery. Editing the vast footage involved balancing spectacle with story, ensuring that emotional beats weren't lost amid the grandeur. Sound design and scoring added layers of depth, with musicians recording live to capture the raw textures that digital synthesis could not replicate. I found it fascinating how the team experimented with different musical themes to evoke the film's shifting moods, from tension and danger to moments of tenderness and hope. Marketing the film presented its own set of creative challenges. Given the film's complexity and scale, the promotional team crafted campaigns that emphasized both the epic adventure and the intimate human stories at its heart. They released behind-the-scenes footage and interactive experiences that invited fans into the filmmaking journey, deepening engagement. This strategy not only built anticipation, but also honored the collaborative spirit that defined the production. The film's reception, while broadly positive, sparked vibrant discussions among audiences and critics alike. Many praised its visual achievements and emotional depth, while some debated pacing and narrative choices. These conversations are part of the living dialogue between art and audience, reminding us that interpretation is as much a part of a film's life as creation. Reflecting on all these facets, the locations, effects, costumes, teamwork, challenges, and celebrations, I'm struck by the sheer scale of human effort woven into every frame. The production was a vast orchestration of skill and passion, each member contributing their unique talents to a shared vision. It's humbling and inspiring to consider how these behind-the-scenes stories echo the themes of the film itself. Courage, perseverance, and the power of collective endeavor. What lingers most with me is the sense that filmmaking is not just a craft but a community. The laughter in the face of setbacks, the creative sparks that fly in collaboration, the moments of quiet triumph, they all remind us that cinema is a profoundly human art form. Behind the dragons and battles lie the stories of people who dared to dream and build worlds together. In the end, these production insights and fun facts deepen our connection to the film. They transform it from a spectacle into a shared experience, a testament to imagination made real through dedication and heart. And knowing these stories enriches every viewing, allowing us to appreciate not just what we see but the incredible journey that brought it to life. The world this film unfolds within is nothing short of a living tapestry, woven with the threads of place, light, and shadow, each stitch pulling us deeper into a realm both fantastical and palpably real. From the very moment the camera lingers on the sprawling landscapes, it becomes clear that setting is not a mere backdrop. It is a character in its own right, shaping the story, echoing its themes, and immersing the viewer in a sensory experience that transcends the screen. What fascinates me most is how the filmmakers embrace this potential, crafting environments that resonate emotionally as much as visually. The journey begins in the gentle, rolling hills of the Shire, a place suffused with warmth and familiarity. The verdant fields, quaint cottages, and lazy rivers are rendered with a painterly softness, inviting us to linger in this world of comfort and peace before the storm of adventure beckons. The cinematography here uses wide, open shots with natural, golden light that bathes everything in a nostalgic glow. These scenes are a visual love letter to simplicity and home, evoking a deep-rooted sense of belonging that we immediately sense is precious and precarious. This sense of place is more than aesthetic, it functions thematically, grounding the story's central tension between safety and the unknown. The tranquility of the Shire contrasts starkly with the wild and perilous lands that await beyond, reinforcing the emotional stakes of leaving home. The filmmakers use the setting's serene beauty to heighten the bittersweet tone, reminding us what is at risk when the call to adventure disrupts this peaceful existence. As the company ventures forth, the landscapes shift dramatically. Towering mountains rise like ancient sentinels, their jagged peaks piercing stormy skies. The cinematography here takes on a more rugged, dynamic character, with sweeping aerial shots that emphasize scale and isolation. The interplay of light and shadow across rocky faces and mist-shrouded valleys creates a mood of foreboding and mystery. These settings are visually striking, but also symbolically rich. Mountains here are barriers and beacons, embodying the daunting challenges and the allure of the unknown. The forests that the travelers pass through are another vital element of the film's visual language. They are dense and shadowed, alive with whispering leaves and shifting light. The camera often lingers on the dappled patterns created by sunlight filtering through the canopy, creating an interplay of darkness and illumination that mirrors the narrative's tensions between hope and danger. The woods feel ancient, almost sentient, suggesting a world where magic is woven into the very air. This atmosphere is heightened by subtle sound design, rustling branches, distant calls that envelop the viewer in a sensory embrace. One of the most striking settings is the mountain lair itself, a cavernous, claustrophobic space rendered with a blend of natural grandeur and ominous menace. The design of the lair is a masterclass in cinematic atmosphere, dark, sprawling chambers punctuated by the flicker of molten gold and the eerie glow of a sleeping giant. The cinematography here is intimate yet imposing, using tight framing to evoke confinement and vulnerability, while wide shots reveal the overwhelming scale of the dragon's domain. The contrast between these perspectives amplifies the emotional tension, making the lair both a place of wonder and terror. Lighting plays a pivotal role in crafting the film's mood throughout these varied settings. The filmmakers employ chiaroscuro, sharp contrasts between light and dark, to underscore themes of moral ambiguity and hidden danger. Scenes often unfold in low light, where shadows creep and the source of illumination is limited to flickering flames or slivers of daylight. This creates a visual metaphor for the elusive nature of truth and the lurking threats that define the character's journey. At the same time, moments of bright, warm light, sunrise breaking over a ridge, the glow of a campfire, offer brief respites that punctuate the narrative's darker tones. Color grading further enhances the film's emotional landscape. The palette shifts with the narrative, from the lush greens and earth tones of the Shire to the cold blues and grays of the mountains and lairs. Warm golds and fiery reds dominate scenes with the dragon, symbolizing danger and desire. This careful modulation of color guides the viewer's emotional response, reinforcing the story's rhythms and themes. It's a reminder of how visual elements work in concert to shape not just what we see, but what we feel. Camera movement is another key tool in building atmosphere. The film balances sweeping, majestic tracking shots with intimate handheld sequences that draw us close to the characters' experiences. In moments of tension or vulnerability, the camera tightens, focusing on facial expressions or subtle gestures, capturing the nuanced emotions that dialogue alone cannot convey. Conversely, expansive shots remind us of the characters' smallness against the vastness of the world, a visual echo of their internal struggles and the epic stakes they face. The use of depth of field in cinematography is particularly effective. Selective focus directs our attention to key elements while blurring the periphery, creating a sense of psychological immediacy. This technique allows scenes to breathe, inviting contemplation amid the action. It also serves a symbolic function. What is in sharp focus represents clarity and presence, while blurred backgrounds suggest uncertainty and the unknown. Set design and props are thoughtfully integrated into the visual storytelling. Every object from the worn maps and ancient weapons to the humble belongings of the Hobbit carries weight and history. These tangible details enrich the world building, grounding the fantasy in reality. They serve as silent narrators, telling stories of past conflicts, cultural heritage, and personal journeys. This meticulous attention to material culture adds layers of texture and authenticity. Sound design complements the visual elements, creating an immersive sensory environment. Natural sounds, wind rustling, footsteps on stone, water dripping, are woven with musical motifs to create a soundscape that feels alive and resonant. The careful layering of ambient noise enhances the setting's presence, making locations feel inhabited and dynamic. It's an auditory invitation to enter the world fully. Music, too, shapes the film's emotional tone. The score's blend of orchestral grandeur and subtle, intimate melodies reflects the shifting moods of the narrative. Themes recur and evolve, weaving a musical tapestry that binds scenes and characters. This sonic continuity deepens the emotional impact, supporting the film's exploration of heroism, loss, and hope. Symbolism embedded in the setting and cinematography enriches the narrative's thematic depth. The recurring imagery of light-piercing darkness, the journey through labyrinthine paths, and the contrast between open landscapes and confined spaces all serve as metaphors for transformation, choice, and the struggle between freedom and fate. These visual motifs invite viewers to engage actively, reading meaning beneath the surface. The film's atmospheric mastery extends to its handling of time and space. The pacing of scenes, the rhythm of cuts, and the ebb and flow of visual focus create a temporal texture that feels organic. Time is stretched in moments of tension and reflection, compressed during action, mirroring the characters' psychological states. This dynamic approach enhances immersion and emotional resonance. One cannot overlook the cultural resonance embedded in the settings. The film draws from a rich tradition of myth and folklore, and its locations evoke a timeless quality that connects contemporary viewers to ancient narratives. The interplay between the familiar and the fantastic creates a liminal space where legend feels tangible and immediate. This blending is a cornerstone of the film's enduring appeal. In reflecting on how setting and cinematic elements intertwine, it becomes clear that the film's power lies not only in its story, but in how that story is told visually. The settings breathe life into the narrative, shaping mood and guiding emotional journeys. Cinematography and design create a world that feels expansive yet intimate, fantastical yet real. The immersive quality of the film's world invites repeated viewing and reflection. Each return reveals new details, new layers of meaning. It's a world where light and shadow dance, where every frame is a painting, and where place is inseparable from story. This richness is what transforms a tale into an experience. Ultimately, the film's setting and cinematic artistry are a testament to the collaborative craft of filmmaking. They remind us that cinema is a visual language capable of evoking profound emotional landscapes. Through this lens, we see not just a story unfolding, but a world inviting us to step inside, to feel, to dream, and to discover ourselves anew. There's a unique kind of magic that lingers not just in the final cut of a film, but in the stories whispered and laughed over long after the cameras stop rolling. Behind the meticulously crafted scenes of this cinematic adventure lies a world brimming with unexpected moments, human connections, and creative challenges that shape the film in ways unseen by most viewers. These behind-the-scenes insights reveal the heart of filmmaking, a blend of artistry, perseverance, and camaraderie that breathes life into the story we see on screen. From the very start of production, the atmosphere on set was one of determined excitement tempered by the realities of an ambitious schedule. The cast and crew came together with a shared passion for bringing this rich narrative to life, yet the path was anything but smooth. Weather in the remote mountain locations proved to be one of the earliest and most persistent obstacles. Days meant for clear skies and golden light sometimes dawned with relentless rain or thick fog, turning outdoor sets into muddy challenges. Yet rather than dampen spirits, these conditions often sparked creativity. The director embraced the moody atmosphere, encouraging the team to incorporate the natural elements into the film's tone, turning setbacks into opportunities to deepen the visual and emotional texture. The camaraderie among the cast was palpable, forged in the crucible of long shoots and demanding physical sequences. The actors playing the band of travelers developed a genuine brotherhood, sharing jokes, stories, and support that transcended the professional. One memorable tradition that emerged was the nightly story circle, where after grueling days, the group would gather around campfires to share personal tales, folklore, or playful banter. These moments of connection not only sustained morale but enriched the performances, infusing them with a warmth and authenticity that radiates on screen. There were countless moments of levity amidst the tension. One beloved anecdote involves a scene requiring the actors to carry heavy equipment and costumes through treacherous terrain. An unexpected slip by one of the actors, caught in slow motion by a camera left rolling, resulted in a tumble that became a source of laughter for the entire crew. Rather than reshoot immediately, the director allowed the spontaneous moment to remain in the footage for a brief, light-hearted cut, an Easter egg that delighted fans and highlighted the human side of the epic tale. The physical demands placed on the cast were formidable. Many sequences involved stunts, long hours of wearing cumbersome armor or prosthetics, and navigating challenging environments. Yet these hardships forged bonds and revealed the resilience of the performers. The lead actor, in particular, was noted for his unyielding dedication, often rehearsing scenes multiple times and working closely with stunt coordinators to ensure authenticity and safety. His willingness to endure discomfort and push boundaries inspired the ensemble, creating a culture of mutual respect and high standards. Behind the camera, technical teams faced their own set of trials. Filming complex scenes involving large groups of extras, special effects, and intricate choreography required meticulous planning and flexibility. One challenge involved coordinating a large-scale battle sequence on uneven ground, where weather and light conditions shifted unpredictably. The solution involved adaptive scheduling and creative use of lighting equipment to maintain continuity, demonstrating the ingenuity and collaborative spirit of the production crew. The integration of practical and digital effects posed additional hurdles. Scenes featuring fantastical creatures required actors to perform alongside green screens and motion capture devices, demanding intense concentration and imagination. Many cast members spoke of the surreal experience of interacting with invisible characters, relying heavily on the guidance of directors and VFX supervisors to shape their performances. This blend of tangible and virtual filmmaking underscored the complexity and innovation at play. Wardrobe and makeup departments also navigated challenges with artistry and perseverance. The elaborate costumes, essential for conveying character and culture, required constant maintenance and adjustment. Makeup artists worked long hours applying prosthetics and ensuring continuity despite the rigors of outdoor filming. Their attention to detail transformed actors into believable denizens of a mythical world, and their stories of late-night touch-ups and creative problem-solving add another layer to the production's rich tapestry. One particularly surprising story comes from the handling of a pivotal prop, a massive weapon that played a central role in several scenes. Its sheer size and weight made it difficult to maneuver, leading to an incident where it was accidentally dropped during rehearsal, narrowly missing an actor. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the event sparked a review of safety protocols and a redesign that made the prop more manageable. This episode highlights the constant balancing act between spectacle and safety inherent in large-scale productions. Interpersonal dynamics among the cast and crew were generally positive, but as in any intense collaboration, not without moments of tension. Filming long hours under challenging conditions can strain relationships, but the production's leadership fostered open communication and a supportive environment. Regular team meetings and informal check-ins helped address issues early, maintaining morale and ensuring that creative differences became opportunities for growth rather than conflict. The film's director played a crucial role in shaping this collaborative culture. Known for a balance of firmness and empathy, the director encouraged input from all departments, valuing the unique perspectives that each member brought. This inclusive approach nurtured innovation and allowed for moments of spontaneous creativity. Sometimes a line improvised on set or a visual idea suggested by a crew member would find its way into the final cut, enriching the narrative and texture of the film. Among the fun facts shared during promotional interviews was the story of an unexpected visitor on set, a curious local animal that wandered into a scene, causing a brief but memorable pause in filming. Rather than shoo it away, the crew embraced the moment, and the animal's fleeting presence added an unplanned but charming touch to the scene. It's these small serendipities that remind us filmmaking is deeply entwined with the unpredictability of the real world. Post-production brought its own insights and surprises. Editors worked closely with the director to sculpt the film's rhythm, balancing the epic scope with intimate character moments. There were spirited debates about the length of certain sequences and the placement of musical cues, reflecting a shared commitment to storytelling integrity. Sound designers and composers experimented with layering natural sounds and thematic motifs, enhancing emotional resonance and atmosphere. Reflecting on the entirety of production, what stands out most is the resilience and creativity that infused every stage. The making of the film was a journey of discovery, of new technologies, storytelling techniques, and human connection. It's a testament to the passion and dedication of everyone involved, from the actors braving harsh conditions to the technicians crafting unseen details. These behind-the-scenes stories deepen our appreciation, revealing that the film's magic is as much about the people who made it as the story it tells. They invite us to see filmmaking as a living, breathing process, full of surprises, laughter, challenge, and triumph. And in knowing these stories, our experience of the film becomes richer, more personal, and more profoundly connected to the extraordinary effort behind the art. There's a quiet power in stories that linger long after the credits roll, those narratives that don't just entertain, but invite us into a deeper conversation about what it means to be human. The film we've been exploring is one of those stories. Beneath its sweeping landscapes and thrilling adventure lies a rich fabric of themes and symbolism that weave together to create something much larger than the sum of its parts. What captivates me most is how these layers invite us not just to watch but to feel, to reflect, and to connect. At the heart of the film is the enduring theme of courage, not as the absence of fear, but as the willingness to face it. The journey undertaken by the characters is a testament to the complex nature of bravery. It's often messy, reluctant, and fraught with doubt. The Hobbit, in particular, embodies this nuanced courage. His growth is a slow unfolding, marked by hesitation and mistakes, yet propelled forward by a quiet, stubborn resolve. This portrayal challenges traditional heroic archetypes and resonates with our own struggles to overcome internal barriers. Intertwined with courage is the theme of friendship and loyalty. The company's bonds are tested repeatedly, revealing the fragile and sometimes painful nature of trust. These relationships aren't idealized. They are real, layered with conflict, sacrifice, and moments of profound connection. The film explores how loyalty can be both a source of strength and vulnerability, demanding difficult choices and sometimes heartbreaking compromises. This theme is mirrored in the group's dynamic, each character's motivations and fears coloring their interactions and decisions. Power and its consequences form another central thread. The dragon, with its immense treasure hoard, symbolizes the intoxicating and destructive potential of greed and desire. Its presence casts a long shadow over the narrative, reminding us that power, when unchecked, can consume and corrupt. Yet the film doesn't reduce this to simple villainy. It invites reflection on the allure of power and the cost of obsession. This complexity enriches the story's moral landscape, challenging viewers to consider their own relationships with ambition and possession. Transformation is woven through the narrative both literally and metaphorically. Characters undergo profound changes, shaped by experience, loss, and revelation. The mountain itself is a symbol of this transformation, a place of trial and awakening. The physical ascent mirrors the characters' internal journeys, suggesting that growth often demands confronting fear and uncertainty. This theme connects deeply with the film's broader exploration of identity and destiny. Symbolism is richly embedded throughout the film, adding depth and texture to its themes. Light and shadow, for example, are employed not only to create mood, but to represent moral and emotional complexity. Scenes bathed in golden sunlight often suggest hope, renewal, or truth, while those cloaked in shadow evoke fear, secrecy, or danger. This interplay reinforces the narrative's exploration of duality, the coexistence of light and dark within individuals and worlds. Water is another potent symbol, appearing in moments of cleansing, transition, or reflection. Rivers and rain serve as metaphors for change, the flow of time, and the possibility of renewal. These motifs invite contemplation on the impermanence of circumstances and the potential for rebirth, themes that resonate with the characters' evolving journeys. The film's use of mirrors and reflections adds a layer of introspection. Characters often confront their own images or fragmented reflections, symbolizing the search for identity and the fragmentation caused by trauma or loss. These visual devices underscore the film's psychological depth, inviting viewers to consider the multiplicity within selves and the challenge of reconciliation. The motif of the journey itself is a powerful symbol, representing not just physical travel but the quest for meaning, self-discovery, and belonging. The characters' passage through diverse landscapes reflects the stages of transformation, innocence, trial, revelation, and resolution. This archetypal pattern resonates across cultures and time, grounding the film's fantastical elements in universal human experience. Sacrifice emerges as a poignant theme, underscoring the cost of heroism and loyalty. Characters face choices that demand giving up personal desires or safety for the greater good or for others. These moments are charged with emotional weight, highlighting the tension between self-interest and altruism. The film honors these sacrifices without romanticizing them, presenting them as complex and sometimes painful acts. The relationship between fate and free will is explored subtly but persistently. The characters grapple with forces beyond their control, prophecies, ancient curses, inherited legacies, while striving to assert agency in shaping their destinies. This tension adds philosophical depth, inviting reflection on how much of life is predetermined and how much is shaped by choice. It resonates with the broader human struggle to find meaning and purpose amid uncertainty. Nature and the environment are imbued with symbolic significance throughout the film. The changing seasons, weather patterns, and landscapes reflect emotional states and narrative turns. The wilderness is at times a place of danger and at times a sanctuary, embodying the duality of the world the characters inhabit. This connection to nature underscores themes of harmony and conflict between humans and their surroundings. The film also engages with the concept of home, its loss, longing, and redefinition. For the Hobbit and his companions, home is both a place and an ideal, something to protect but also something that changes as they grow. The narrative grapples with what it means to belong, how identity is tied to place, and how journeys can transform one's sense of self and sanctuary. Symbolic use of objects such as weapons, heirlooms, and treasure adds layers of meaning. These items are more than tools or rewards, they carry histories, burdens, and hopes. For instance, the treasure hoard is not just wealth but a source of conflict and temptation, reflecting the complex interplay between material desire and moral integrity. The film's rich tapestry of themes and symbolism is deeply connected to its characters and plot. Each character's arc is infused with thematic significance, their personal struggles reflecting broader questions of courage, loyalty, and identity. The narrative events serve as crucibles where these themes are tested, revealed, and sometimes transformed. What I find most compelling is how the film doesn't present these themes as didactic lessons, but as lived experiences, messy, contradictory, and profound. This approach invites viewers to engage emotionally and intellectually, to find their own reflections and meanings within the story. The visual and auditory elements reinforce these thematic concerns. Cinematography, lighting, music, and sound design create a sensory environment that echoes the film's symbolic language. Together, they shape a mood that invites contemplation, heightening the emotional resonance of key moments. Ultimately, the film's themes and symbolism elevate it beyond mere fantasy adventure. They connect it to timeless human concerns, fear and hope, loss and redemption, belonging and transformation. This depth is what makes the story enduring, inviting repeated exploration and reflection. As we immerse ourselves in these layers, we discover a narrative that speaks not only to the imagination but to the heart and mind. It challenges, comforts, and inspires, reminding us of the power of stories to illuminate the complexities of life. In embracing these themes, the film becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a companion on our own journeys, a mirror reflecting our struggles and dreams. It offers a space where myth and reality intertwine, where symbolism and emotion dance together to create meaning. This is the magic of great storytelling, to open doors to new understanding and to invite us into worlds where we can explore what it means to be human. Through its themes and symbols, this film offers just such a journey, one rich with insight, failing, and the enduring power of imagination. The journey we've taken together through this film has been as rich and layered as the story itself, a tapestry woven from threads of adventure, courage, and profound human experience. As we reach the close of this exploration, I find myself reflecting on how every element we've discussed, the intricate plot, the deeply human characters, the mesmerizing settings, and the rich symbolism, intertwines to create a work that transcends the boundaries of mere entertainment. It is a narrative that invites us not only to witness but to feel, to think, and to connect. We began by delving into the plot, tracing the company's perilous journey from the familiar comfort of home into the unknown wilds. Each step forward was fraught with challenges that tested their bonds and individual resolve. The story is more than a quest. It is a meditation on growth, loss, and the complex dance between fate and free will. This journey is mirrored in the characters themselves, figures who are flawed, courageous, and deeply relatable. Their struggles and triumphs resonate because they reflect the human condition in all its messy beauty. Our character analysis uncovered the nuanced portrayals that breathe life into the film's world. From the hesitant but steadfast hobbit to the proud yet vulnerable dwarves, from the enigmatic woman who grounds and challenges to the formidable dragon that embodies power and temptation, each character embodies themes that ripple through the narrative. They are not caricatures but living, breathing beings whose journeys invite empathy and reflection. The exploration of themes and symbolism further revealed the film's depth. Courage, loyalty, transformation, power, and the quest for identity weave through every scene and frame. Symbols, light and shadow, water, mirrors, treasure enrich the storytelling, creating layers of meaning that reward attentive viewing and invite personal interpretation. This thematic richness is what elevates the film, making it a timeless tale with relevance beyond its fantasy setting. Behind the scenes, we glimpse the human effort, creativity, and serendipity that brought this vision to life. Stories of resilience in the face of harsh weather, camaraderie forged in shared challenges, and the blending of practical and digital artistry paint a picture of filmmaking as a collaborative and often unpredictable adventure. These insights deepen our appreciation, reminding us that every frame is the product of countless moments of dedication, problem-solving, and passion. The film's setting and cinematic elements, its breathtaking landscapes, careful use of light and color, dynamic camera work, and immersive sound design, form a sensory landscape that draws us in fully. The environment is a living, breathing part of the story, shaping mood and emotion, echoing themes, and grounding fantasy in reality. This masterful use of visual and auditory tools transforms the narrative into an experience, inviting us not just to watch but to inhabit the world. In reflecting on all these facets, it becomes clear that the film's enduring impact lies in its ability to balance grandeur with intimacy, spectacle with subtlety, and myth with humanity. It offers a space where adventure meets introspection, where the extraordinary is made relatable through the emotional truths at its core. As we close this chapter of analysis, I want to express my gratitude for sharing this journey with me. Your curiosity and engagement breathe life into these explorations, turning them into conversations rather than monologues. If you found value and enjoyment in this deep dive, if you're someone who loves unpacking the layers beneath the surface, who delights in thoughtful, intellectual conversations about film, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribing means joining a community of fellow explorers, where stories are not just told but lived and questioned. It means access to more content that goes beyond the usual reviews to embrace critical analysis, thematic explorations, and behind-the-scenes insights. Together, we can continue to uncover the hidden depths of cinema, enriching our understanding and appreciation. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to journey beyond the screen. I look forward to sharing many more cinematic adventures with you, each one a new world, a new story, a new chance to connect, reflect, and dream. Until then, keep watching